Johan Liebert is a villain who destroys cities without magic, super strength, or energy beams. He relies entirely on his voice. He makes demons look like children by comparison. As new audiences discover his story through high-definition releases, they realize true horror is not about jump scares. Real terror comes from a polite young man standing on a roof and whispering 3 words that force you to jump. The story began in 1986, when Dr. Kenzo Tenma made a simple ethical choice to save a dying boy instead of a wealthy mayor. Tenma believed all lives were equal, but that belief had terrible consequences. Saving that boy resurrected a monster. Johan woke up, killed his doctors with poisoned candy, and vanished into the night. Tenma lost his career temporarily, but gained a haunting new purpose to hunt down the creature he brought back to life. While many anime villains scream and transform to rule the world, Johan Liebert wears a trench coat and speaks softly. He often just stands there, appearing to be a charming university student if you met him in a bar. This unassuming nature makes him incredibly dangerous. He never forces anyone to act. Instead, he understands the darkest corners of the human mind and gently nudges people until they destroy themselves. Understanding the man requires looking at the experiment that forged him at 511 Kinderheim. This secret East German orphanage aimed to create perfect, emotionless soldiers by wiping away children's identities through memory rewriting. Johan survived the programming and hijacked it for his own ends. Instead of becoming a soldier, he became a leader who convinced 50 students and instructors to kill each other while he watched from a chair. Johan's psyche mirrors a disturbingly illustrated picture book called The Nameless Monster, where a creature splits in 2 to find a name. The monster enters people, consumes them from the inside, and takes their place. Johan treats this story as his operating manual because he believes he is a fictional character in a real world. He consumes identities by becoming a son, brother, or friend. When he finishes, he leaves his victims hollow, like the book's monster who found a name but had no one left to speak it. Viewers interested in psychological breakdowns and character studies should subscribe to see our weekly examinations of dark fictional figures. The next example demonstrates how Johan broke a man without ever touching him. Richard Braun was a former detective successfully rebuilding his life through therapy and sobriety while reconnecting with his daughter. His strength crumbled when he met Johan. Johan offered him a drink rather than attacking him physically. He sat with Richard and methodically unraveled his guilt over a past shooting, which twisted the detective's sobriety into a noose. Johan poured the whiskey and whispered truths until Richard felt gravity was the only escape, leading to his fall from a roof in Munich. One scene during a ceremony at the University of Munich captures his essence perfectly. Johan sets the library on fire to hide his past and stands still in the center of the inferno while people stampede for the exits. He looks at the painting of the Red Rose Mansion with complete detachment from the chaos he created. He neither enjoys the fire nor fears it. He simply observes the flames as if the destruction of the world is a mild curiosity. Johan displays his cruelest behavior toward children. He finds a young boy looking for his mother in the red light district and suggests a game where the child must walk across a high roof ledge. Johan implies that surviving might bring the mother back, while falling results in death. His goal is not the boy's death, but making the child believe life is cheap. He corrupts the innocence of the next generation by planting seeds of nihilism in their minds before they can even read. General Wolf was the soldier who first found the twins at the border and gave Johan his name. Years later, Johan retaliated against Wolf, not by killing him, but by systematically murdering everyone the general knew, including family and friends. He left Wolf alive, but completely isolated. When Wolf finally confronts him, Johan states that the monster inside him has grown massive. He erased Wolf's existence while leaving his body breathing because he views isolation as a fate worse than death. Johan controls money laundering operations, commands serial killers, and topples banks, yet he seeks only the perfect suicide. This goal goes beyond simple death to include erasing every trace of his existence. He plans to kill everyone who remembers him and destroy every record of his birth before ending his own life. He intends to leave the world exactly as it would have been if he had never been born, projecting his self-hatred onto the entire human race. The story culminates in a peaceful, rainy town called Ruhenheim, which Johan selects as the stage for his final act. He avoids bringing an army and instead hands out guns to ordinary townsfolk while spreading rumors. He tells the baker the neighbor is stealing, or tells a husband his wife is cheating. Paranoia quickly turns the quiet village into a slaughterhouse, where neighbors shoot each other in the streets. Johan demonstrates that creating hell requires only human nature and a slight push, rather than monsters. Johan acts not out of medical insanity, but from a state of hypersanity, where he sees no value in life after witnessing humanity's darkness. He believes that the only equality humans possess is death. He views struggle, love, and morality as illusions, created to distract people from the void. His goal is not to be evil, but to force others to perceive the meaningless silence he experiences constantly. Dr. Tenma and Johan represent opposing views on the value of life. Tenma saves people because he considers every life precious, while Johan takes lives because he believes they do not matter. At Ruhenheim, Johan tries to force Tenma to shoot him, to prove that even a good man can become a killer. If Tenma pulls the trigger, Johan wins the argument. The true weapon in this psychological standoff is the moral choice rather than the gun. The series concludes with a highly debated sequence where Tenma saves Johan's life again and repeats the cycle. Johan appears in a hospital bed, seemingly in a coma, until Tenma leaves the room. When the perspective returns, the bed sits empty with the window open. Interpretations range from him escaping to kill again, jumping, or simply vanishing because he ceased to exist as a monster. The empty bed suggests that the potential for evil remains active and unmonitored. Johan feels relevant decades after the manga finished. A villain who destroys victims by whispering into their ears resonates in a time of digital manipulation and social isolation. The recent Blu-ray release by Discotek Media highlights his enduring impact. Johan demonstrates that the most frightening threat is not a physical monster, but a charismatic voice suggesting that nothing matters, and the part of the listener that starts to agree. Johan Liebert serves as a mirror reflecting the void within humanity. He challenges people to find meaning in a universe that offers none. Dr. Tenma found his answer in saving lives, including that of a monster. This may be the only way to defeat the nihilism Johan represents, choosing kindness in a cruel world. If this analysis was effective, check your subscription status to catch the next character study.